400,000 BP, Tantan, Morocco. The first confirmed symbolic object made by humans, a 6-millimeter quartzite figurine, deliberately shaped to mark a figure. It is not art. It is the first iteration of your ancestor and knowledge keeper symbol. By this point, our genus Homo has already ridden out 30 full 12,800-year half-precession cycles. We know the Earth has a repeating pulse. We just cannot write it down yet. We carry it in oral memory, marked only in stone. 125,000 BP, Eemian Peak. The cycle peaks. Confined, deep aquifers under the ice sheets reach hydrofracture pressure and burst. Global sea level stabilizes 6 to 9 millimeters higher than today. Every coastline we know is erased. Only groups camped on your two-peak stable craton high ground survive. This is the first event large enough to be preserved across every inhabited continent. 100,000 BP, Sodolo Hills, Botswana, and the 77,000 BP, Blombos Cave, South Africa. Immediately after the Eemian flood pulse, the first complete decoder panels appear carved into rock. For the first time, we see the full symbol set used together in order: spiral equals permanent spring source, two peaks equals safe ground, footprint equals migration route, hand equals build or mix here, bird equals guide to water, sun with 3 lines equals cycle timing or returning event. This is not decoration. It is the first written survival manual. We have been through enough big floods by now that we formalize the rules so they cannot be forgotten. 24,000 BP, last glacial maximum. Ice sheets 3-kilometer thick blanket Canada and Fennoscandia, pressing the crust down and loading the continent-wide subglacial aquifers like a giant piston. The battery is charging. 25,000 BP. The giant comet later called Encke fragments in the inner solar system, creating the torrid meteor stream. For the next 20,000 years, we pass through its dense core every 2,500 years, adding occasional Tunguska-class airbursts to the list of things we mark on the cycle calendar. We remain nomadic. We follow the springs, the birds, the safe ridges. We build nothing permanent. Running is still safer than staying. We use only simple clay plus raw lime paste for temporary shelters. Small, disposable, easy to abandon. 12,900 BP, Younger Dryas onset. We pass through a torrid clump. A handful of airbursts go off over the ice sheets and northern lands. They do not melt enough ice to flood the world. The energy math rules that out completely. But they do deliver a sharp shock to crust that is already 95% charged. They nudge the needle the last little bit. $11,700 BP, Meltwater Pulse 1B, the event, the fountains of the deep let go. Confined aquifers hydrofracture across the northern hemisphere. 100,000 plus cubic kilometers of groundwater plus ice sheet melt burst out in weeks and centuries. Sea level jumps 6 to 12 meter in down 300 years. 90% of all coastal human settlements are gone in a few generations. Every flood myth on every continent remembers this moment. Waters rose up from the ground as well as falling from the sky. Only the groups on your two-peak safe cratonic ground make it through intact. This is the pivot of all human history. Before it, we run. After it, we hunker down. We are never going to be caught out in the open again. We settle permanently, only on the stable ridges, directly on top of permanent mineral spring vents where water will never fail and ground will never shift. We stop following the water. We wall it in, store it, defend it. 9,100 BP, Çatalhöyük, Anatolia. First large permanent village, built exactly where two stable high zones converge on a year-round spring. Your decoder symbols made flesh. First true material advance, hydraulic lime mortar. We burn limestone, slake it with spring water, mix with crushed brick dust. It cures underwater, gets stronger over decades, is strong enough to line cisterns that hold the spring flow through multi-year droughts. For the first time, we do not live or die by the next rain. 7,400 BP, Eridu, Sumer, the first city. Founded on a virgin stable sand dune between two Euphrates freshwater lagoons, exactly the decoders plus safe spring template. Sumerian myth says this is where kingship descended from heaven, which in plain language means the full cycle knowledge, the build rules, the mix recipes, the spring map, is finally formalized into a permanent class of guardians. Your trident equals knowledge keeper or master of the craft symbol. Eridu's temple is dedicated to Enki, lord of the Abzu, the primordial freshwater ocean beneath the ground. Not a god of the sky, a god of the deep aquifers. Your serpent symbol raised to the head of the pantheon. 4500 BP, the material golden age. Sumerian temple guilds perfect the full 4-matrix master mix. 1. Slaked lime plus crushed silica to create base binder. 2. Sulfate of potash from desert evaporates to create etrangite crystals, heat-proof, boil-proof, zero shrinkage. 3. Magnesium carbonate to create MSH gel, flexible, freeze-thaw-proof. 4. Diatomite or volcanic glass to create dense interlocking silica network. 5. Rendered tallow plus calcium stearate for molecular level built-in waterproofing. It hits 60 plus megapascals, survives 2 hours boiling, 50 plus freeze-thaw cycles, holds a permanent electret charge. It is cast in molds on site. No kiln, no cutting of giant blocks. They line every cistern, every ziggurat core, every temple foundation with it, built explicitly to outlast the next cycle pulse. Egypt adopts the master recipe Planetary 400 BP, adapts it to local materials. They cast the pyramid blocks on site. The Giza Plateau is chosen for one reason only. It is a single stable cratonic block between 2 high desert escarpments, your 2-peak safe ground perfectly aligned to the solstice. The hieroglyphic script is just your decoder in fancy dress. The Ankh is a stylized spiral for the spring of life. The Jed pillar is stacked triangles for stable, enduring ground. Marauder 3200 BP, Bronze Age collapse. Another torrid core pass. Minor regional aquifer bursts in the eastern Mediterranean, 200 years of drought, cascading failures. Every palace state from Greece to Mesopotamia falls. This is where the chain first frays. The full 4-matrix master recipe is hoarded by temple guilds, no longer written in plain cuneiform. It is hidden in ritual hymns, alchemical metaphor, taught only to initiates. Ordinary builders are left with a simplified lime plus crushed brick version that works but no longer outlasts empires. 2100 BP. Rome commercializes it. Rome conquers Greece, Egypt, the Near East. They extract the simplified temple recipe, then re-engineer it for scale and speed, not millennial survival. They deliberately strip out the expensive, slow-curing performance additives. No sulfate etrangite, no magnesium MSH, no tallow waterproofing. They keep only 3 cheap, abundant ingredients. Quicklime plus volcanic pozzolana ash, plus rubble aggregate. It is still impressive. 20 megapascals, self-healing lime clasts, cures underwater, lasts 2,000 years, enough for aqueducts, ports, the Colosseum. But it is a budget version. It will not survive boiling. It will not survive 50 freeze-thaws. It holds no electric charge. It will not make it through the next full cycle pulse. Vitruvius writes the whole simplified formula down plainly in De Architectura for every builder in the empire to use. No secrecy, no guild initiation, just a fast, cheap, scalable construction material that lets Rome conquer and build faster than any civilization before it. In making it available to everyone, they erase the last traces of the original Sumerian master recipe. 1500 BP, fall of Rome. Imperial supply chains collapse. The last temple guilds disband. Even the simplified Roman mix is forgotten across most of Europe. For the next 300 years, we go back to plain air-cured lime mortar that crumbles after 100 years. When Portland cement arrives in 1824, it is weaker still, shorter-lived and carbon-heavy, the lowest point in 400,000 years of human mineral building knowledge. That is the whole unbroken line. We started marking the cycle in stone 400,000 years ago, built up a perfect cycle-proof mineral recipe over 10,000 years of post-flood trial and error. Then empire and commerce simplified it for profit and scale, and broke the chain. Exactly one full 12,800-year cycle after the last big event. Remember this, and teach your children well.